season is coming up. And if you are not sure what that means, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to explain your first military move and everything you need to know about it. Hi, my name is Betty Gonzalez, and I am a retired Army officer and a real estate agent in South Florida. So if you're getting ready for your next PCS or permanent change of station, then this video is for you. These are the main points that I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to explain in detail what a military first move is and how it works. I am going to cover what those PCS mean and some of the biggest stressors when and how to get notified that you are PCSing, and if you get to choose where you're going to PCS next. And finally, what to do once you have your orders in hand. You'll definitely want to stay till the end, where I will give you some of my personal tips for a smooth move. So whether you are active duty or a veteran, this information will help you make your next PCS move as smoothly as possible. Welcome to Doral Homes by Betty Gonzalez channel, and thanks for watching. So what is PCS, or permanent change of station? A permanent change of station, or PCS for short, means that you'll be moving your family and your possessions from one duty station to another. It can often lead to an exhausting process with many questions unanswered, but it is something that most military families are used to by now. My last 3 moves were all successfully, thankfully, and here's what I learned about planning ahead. For starters, you'll need to know that there are 3 ways to do a PCS move. You could let the military do all of the packing and moving for you, or you could do it yourself, known as DITY or personal procure move. Or you could do a combination of both. You could partially move yourself and let the military do the rest. If you choose to do a DITY move, you will be reimbursed for the cost and packing and moving your belongings, as well as being compensated for the weight of your goods and the mileage of the move. Whichever option you choose, make sure to research your options and plan ahead to ensure a smooth move. I'll advise you to go to your transportation office to get the more up-to-date information that's available. So when and how do you get notified about your next PCS move? Typically, the military member knows when their current orders will expire, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 years, depending on the branch of service. And they can guess when they will receive their next orders. However, there are many factors to consider that is never the same. For example, sometimes a military member must complete a school before orders can be issued. Orders can also be changed at the last minute, and occasionally the service member has the option to extend their current orders for 1 year or more if they're in their reenlistment window and they're able to reenlist to stay put, or if the member has a high school child and has requested and got approved for high school stabilization. So it is hard to predict when you are gonna get notified of your next move, but the process will generally be the same. The service members at InShop or S1 will notify you that you have orders, or you can log into your military account to view your web orders. However, nothing is final until you have hard copy orders in hand, which will give you the date, times, and location of your next move. Once you have these orders, you can begin packing. And if you are moving overseas, there are other restrictions and things to consider, such as whether all family members can accompany, or you will be making an unaccompanied tour. Do you get to choose your duty station that you go to next? Let me laugh. Okay, I'm sorry. That's funny. Most of the time, military members are at the mercy of the needs of the military. You will fill out a top 3 list of preferred duty stations, but don't be surprised if you get orders that have nothing to do with what you requested. For example, when I was PCSing from South Korea to the States, I asked to be sent anywhere in Florida as my family was already there, and it was going to be my last duty station. Guess what I got offered? They offered me to stay in Korea for another tour, go to Kuwait or Texas or Washington State or Alabama. You guessed it, I chose Alabama. So while it is good to provide input and let them know what you are looking for, don't be disappointed if your top choice isn't available. Bottom line is, the military decides where they are going to send you, and you don't really get a vote. However, with that being said, if a service member has a reason to request a particular duty station, sometimes the military will work with you to get you a preferred location. But nothing is never guaranteed. So try not to get your hopes up. So You know that you're moving and you have your PCS orders in hand. What now? On top of everything I just covered, you'll still have many questions that need to be addressed, like where are you going to live, for example. When looking for a place to live, it is important to consider all of the different factors that will affect your daily life. One of the most important things to think about is your commute time. You don't want to be spending hours on end each day driving or commuting on public transportation. Another important factor to consider is the cost of living in the area. You don't want to be struggling to make ends meet. And finally, you should also think about the schools in the area, as I'm assuming you would like your children to get a good education. There are other factors to consider, like deciding whether to live on base or off base. Some people prefer the convenience of living on base because of all of the amenities, of course, that are available to the service members. Others prefer the freedom of renting or buying a home in the civilian community. So if living off base means that you have a longer commute time, then living on base might be just practical for you. The best way to determine which option is best for you is to do some research and ask around for recommendations. There are several websites that can help you find the right zip code for your family, as well as many social media groups. For example, here in South Florida, we have the Military Families of South Florida, as well as Team Southcom. You will have to be affiliated to the area to be granted access to these groups. Military housing is a great option for a lot of people, like I mentioned, but it is not the only one. If you're not interested in waiting for a military base to have an opening in their housing, or if you're not willing to move every few years when your family outgrows their housing, then there are other options that you can look into renting or buying a house in the civilian population. There are also lots of great extended stay hotels that offer military discounts. Whatever route you decide to go, make sure you do your research and find the best option for your family. And if you decide to rent, make sure the place you rent has a military clause that will allow you to break the lease or find a place to rent month to month. Here are 5 tips to make your next PCS move as smooth as possible. One of the best ways to prepare for a PCS move is to start planning early. This includes cleaning out the house or doing some yard sale to make extra money, as well as researching your next duty station with the help of other military families online. This way you can be prepared for what's to come and have a smoother transition during this move. Second, moving is expensive, whether you are moving across town or across country. One way to help offset some of this cost is to save money in advance. Start saving at least $100 each month so that you will have some funds available when it comes time to move. The military may reimburse some of your moving costs, but there are still a lot of expenses that will need to be paid out of pocket. Planning ahead can help minimize the financial impact of moving. 3. A PCS binder is a great way to stay organized during a move. You can save all of your moving documents and paperwork in one place, along with copies of legal documents like ID, passports, car registration, and marriage license. This is a great way to make sure you have everything you need when you need it. Make sure to hand carry the binder with you and not pack it with the moving boxes. Third, when you're moving, it is important to be patient and flexible. Things will change suddenly or go wrong, so it is important to have a good sense of humor and be able to adjust quickly. It's also important to be patient with your spouse because moving is stressful and can be very frustrating. Try to work together as a team and be supportive of each other. Fourth, one important way to save weight and space is to remember that many things can be replaced. For example, if you don't need a particular item, don't bring it with you. You can easily find or replace most items at your next duty station. Another way to save space is to pack light. Only bring the essentials and leave the rest behind. By following these tips, you can save yourself from carrying unnecessary weight and make the move much easier. Watch this next video if you're PCS into South Florida, and if you're not, watch it anyway, as you might find some of the information still will apply to your next PCS move. And remember, I am Betty Gonzalez, serving the military community of South Florida, from serving our country to serving you.